Hello everyone, it's my brother Jan Ming who is here to share jewelry knowledge this time. Many friends came to my company to buy some diamond jewelry or some proposal rings. When confirmed to buy edged diamonds, I will start to ask questions about making rings. So I will ask, do you want to use materials to make your ring? Most of my friends told me that they want a platinum ring, but in fact, they don't even tie it clearly. I totally think everyone, the department needs. Or save a YouTube. All diamond jewelry products, whether they are earrings, rings, diamonds, rubies, sapphires, etc., are actually the most important. Just like the most important thing when you play a side stove. It's a stove. Well, I can't help but say that there are many different interpretations of different metals on the market. Have you noticed anything? In fact, these websites are good and the short films are good. In fact, they are about giving consumers a definite answer and everyone seems to avoid it. So especially for some good PK, it is an agent for a certain brand company. For example, if a brand is a net Paterum, it keeps talking PT. If there are some companies, it is an agent for some 18K products. Just talk about 18K. A short film or a web page, the end is even more ambiguous. Just to put it, in fact, both are good. You can't compare apples with oranges. Each of the two has its own advantages and disadvantages. Customers have to choose them according to their own situation. In fact, this is what we talked about. It was so pertinent that it couldn't answer consumer questions in the end. Hey, first of all, wear a helmet. I know how to make platinum or K-gold. I can make them for customers. Just like K-gold, I can help customers make them for 18K, 10, 4K or even 9K. Hey, if you look at my YouTube or know me, everyone knows that in fact, in addition to selling diamonds at wholesale prices, I am flying around all the time. The reason is that I can export my jewelry to foreign countries because I make it. The building is a wholesale business, so the price cannot be expensive, but the quantity must be large. So no matter how small the quantity is, there will be more than a dozen orders or even more than 1,000 orders. And what about B2B? What about my customers? What about B2C? What about my customers? Are there some famous Japanese department stores, big European and American brands of royal families in the Middle East? Oh, what customers have the largest quantity of orders from me, which are metals? It's PT. Platinum is definitely 18K eggplant gold. Allow me a few minutes. I'll quickly explain to you that eggplant gold is buried with PT eggplant gold. After reading it, it will save you a lot of time. Okay, so start the fun quickly. Some are called eggplant gold K character, but it's actually a Carat solution, so it's Carat. So pay attention. It's not a diamond. How many cards are there? 994 items. It's a dragon, phoenix and duck. It's a kind of gold content, which is about 99.99%. So it's called 4 strips and 9. In fact, it's very close to 100% gold, but everyone who reads CAM knows that there is no 100% material thing in this world. So in the industry, 99.6% or more is considered 24K. So what does 24K mean by my usual jewelry 18K? Actually, it just has something to do with the molecular business, you just think. There are 24 empty shelves. When they are all filled with sun gold, it is 24 over 24, which is 24K. Hey, if the 24 racks are only filled with 18 squares of gold and the remaining squares are filled with some other metals, then one is called 18K and the gold content of 18K is 75%. And the remaining 25% will be filled with some other metals such as gold, silver, copper, bar, etc. And some factories even use them inside. More than a dozen different metals are the same, which is called thickening alloy. The same system can adjust the color of the metal. You usually look at 18K platinum and silver, gold, rose gold, just swallow the color. And every jewelry factory will have its own formula. Adding an alloy tonic has 2 meanings. The first meaning, what about the chemical reaction? A kind of metal has firmer teeth, so because it is hard enough, it is fine to come first.
It's really a diamond or gemstone, but it's not like a dragon, phoenix, duck gold. It's so easy to deform. The second reason is to tune the color. Just like rose gold, 18K gold, you can tune the color. So when you hear 18K, you don't think the gold content is not enough. So 24K is so good. There is a reason for making 18K. As for the explanation is 18K, 17K, 16K. In fact, to tell a history is about some jewelry manufacturers when I was in the process. In fact, 24K is too far away. It's so far back then. The master kept doing experiments like this. He tested that using the K number system, he could balance the number enough to hurt a diamond if the shoulder is hard enough, and at the same time, he could be suitable for making a piece of jewelry, such as double stones or making a piece of jewelry. Different patterns, workmanship, etc. have gone to another story. Sometimes you will see it. The explanation is that the rose gold on the head of one shop seems a little red and the other one seems so red, but it is a little yellowish. Let's talk about the reason for filling the mouth first, and the master will fill the mouth. Is there a lot of ingredients or is there a lot of silver? Let me tell you, even if they are from the same factory and the same master, when batches of jewelry come out, different batches of jewelry are rose gold. The colors can be different. Let's turn over and talk about checks first. 14K, what is 9K? Simply put, it is 24 checks, 14 checks, gold 14K and 9 checks, which is 9K. What will happen? 14K, 10K, 9K, 6K appear. I do a lot of time, There are some Korean jewelry, some fine pieces and delicious jewelry. What 9K will be used? There is one reason why 6K is to control costs. It is to be flat. It is wrong. It is flat consumers. It is exactly the same. I have flat you, so I have more business, but it is the cost is 6K and I am 18K. I use gold raw materials that are 3 times that of yours, but it is almost the same. So consumers may choose flat, so it is other reasons just because I want to save costs. Most customers think of platinum, but it is actually 18K white gold. That is 18K. Hey, I usually look at some diamond rings, even some expensive watches, Rolex and rose gold watches, all of which are made of 18K. According to 18K Chapter 362 of the Customs Trade Descriptions Ordinance, in fact, the correct name should be 18K white gold. If you want to make rose gold for Li Zheng's wedding ring, or if you want to make rose gold, you actually have to choose and you must use 18K. Or it is eggplant gold, because only eggplant gold comes first, and it can be rose gold PT, but it can't be done. You see it sometimes. Some Indians wear gold when they get married, which seems to be a rich man. In fact, most of them wear 14K or 16K gold content. In fact, they are not good enough and the gold is stretchy. It is so strong and can be hollow, so you can already make large pieces of gold jewelry with a lot of gold. Besides, have you ever heard of a kind called Russian purple? Isn't it the mainland? Zijin mining scare Russian Zijin. What is the main ingredient? Because of the relationship between gold and buried halogen, it will have a purple color. It seems so expensive, but in fact, the gold content is about 58%, both of which are 14K. Another kind, I wonder if you have ever heard of it being called Italian eggplant gold. Hey, Italian eggplant gold is actually related to Italy, just like Hainan Island is related to Hainanese chicken rice, so it's both 14K. Some people just say it's good to go to Thailand to buy gold. Be careful. Hey, in Thailand, a lot of gold is sufficient gold. That is, it is less than 24K. Many of them are tied at 23K. You have to ask clearly, 23K is good, so I will give it to Hong Kong. Gold is flat. Do you want to calculate the price? You asked how much is a gram of gold, then divide the gram number by 23, multiply it by 24, and then compare it to the Hong Kong gold price. Then you will know that pingding is expensive. If you don't know, just leave a message downstairs. Can I answer it again? It's not time to talk about it. In addition, you should pay attention to it. Some jewelry will be shocked by a layer of eggplant gold. It's just like eggplant gold jewelry, but it's completely different things. Come on, you have to be very careful with doujin jewelry. I don't know how to treat it as jewelry. Just look at the word printed on the jewelry. If it says 18KP, hey, there are some foreign countries called KGP. What is the P series? P series stand for gold plate. The series is not valuable. Be careful. Besides, it is lower than 8K jewelry. If you think it's gold jewelry, go to PD, that is, it's Parkin Pentanum, and look through PT number 362 of the Trade Description Ordinance, that is, it's Pentanum, also known as Platinum or Parkin Street. You see some jewelry shops. You think the silver jewelry at the door is platinum, but in fact, 99% of you can go to Chow Fook, 7 Blessings and 8 Blessings. 99% of the jewelry at the door is made of 18K white gold, not platinum or gold. In fact, it is relatively simple. I can use PT. Obviously, if you look at the guidelines, some will use PT900, some will use PT950, which means that the platinum content is 95% or 90%, and there are 5%. The 10% are also thickening, so because the platinum is a long-distance metal, it relies on some other metals to make it harder and can damage the diamond. I've finished explaining it so quickly. Are you so boring? Now, I will talk about some advantages, but also the disadvantages. Let's talk about platinum first. The color stability is high and it is already silver, so even if you wear it for a long time, the original color is silver. So it won't fade. I think this is the only advantage. Hey, some people just say that it is heavier and textured. That is, it is heavier and textured. I don't think this is an advantage. Personally, I feel that I'm very heavy-bodied and I have a high-quality Birkin shortcomings. Hey Birkin, what will happen after I do it? Hardness. 18K is so hard that the gold is relatively soft, which means that it is like a diamond ring. You need to have a claw that holds your diamond, so it is parking. Compared with 18K, it will be easy to break. As you can imagine, if you have a diamond, a big gemstone is a big gemstone, and the claws are relatively big and not easy to break, you can rest assured. But if your jewelry is made of a lot of gravel, a lot of small diamonds, many times you have to use a microscope to injure it. When I was in a distant life, what will the result be? And let me talk about it again. Parking, please. It's about 1700 degrees and gold is only 1000 degrees. So, to a certain extent, the manufacturing process of Tarkin is more difficult than that of gold. When you have small diamonds as fine grains and ask for microscope cream, it is even more difficult because these are real people and real masters. People's work-related injuries are always artificial. If you are not a machine master, sometimes you will miss or not wake up, so it is easier to throw rocks. Of course, it's good to go to 1 degree. That's why, alas, my Japanese PT ring is very rigorous in making it. I don't say that the production is not rigorous, I just say that all the jewelry is always made of artificial double-grain gemstones. Let's talk about the chance rate. If your ring costs 1000 or hundreds, it's okay to throw a stone ring, but if your ring is so expensive, you have to think about it carefully. Okay, the third shortcoming, I just finished talking about it. PT soft body is not enough. Okay, to put it simply, it's easy to spend. I think it's really a good PK. There are many introductions and recommended PT ring companies. I don't know how to talk about this kind of TT ring system. It's easy to spend a lot of 18K. Well, but some people say that flowers can be turned over with 18K eggplant gold. It's so easy. I commonly call it electric gold in the industry. That is, it's electric to the first floor of rhodium. So it looks like new, but it's PT. Master Dooley, will the department use a sander? Hey, the polishing machine, you can go to Taobao and you will see that the PT ring will be repolished. The PT ring will be scared of precious metals. So the polishing will be a little bit, so the ring will be thin. Polish away some precious metals. There are some companies that sell PT rings. Just say there are actually so few, so little, you can't see anything at all and you can ignore it. Hey, I'm too talkative, so I'm too thin. The explanation can be ignored. I don't tie it. It's clear, so I'll tie it. Hey, if you want to sell it, the customer may really not have a good sleep. But when you buy diamonds, the knowledge is the same as H style, D style, and the interest rate is the same, and I don't even have a good sleep. Well, but the price difference is so far, do you mind? In addition, PT, it is exactly the same as an 18K finished product. In fact, you can't tell the difference, but if you go to some investment websites, such as Bloomberg, you will check. Commodity, what is the price of gold? Actually, it is. It's more expensive than platinum, but why is it more expensive to make platinum? It's obviously a flat one, but why would it be expensive? Of course, this gold system is tight at 24K, so you can multiply it by 0.75, but it is actually more expensive. It is more expensive than platinum. The first reason is that PT has a high density, so it is heavier. The gram is heavier, so it is more expensive, and the workmanship of PT is more complicated and difficult, so part of the price is actually due to the labor cost, and 18K is lighter. It will be relatively flat, but you should pay attention to it. If you talk about turning over the value, it will be much easier to preserve or recycle the value, so the 18K system is much easier, so the 1 degree 18K system is soft. It is a complete victory, and it is necessary to add more flat. After talking about PT, I will talk about 18K. Let me talk about the shortcomings of 18K first. Compared with PT, it is easier to oxidize. So many people come forward and say 18K will throw color. It's not easy to buy a ring and turn it over. There is a mistake in the color. Actually, it's entirely a sales PT. The company's sales method enlarges the shortcomings of 18K and then hides some serious shortcomings of PT. Well, 18K is relatively easy to oxidize, so it is easier to come forward and immerse in coating, so it will appear inside. It feels gray, golden, gray, yellow, and yellow. If you feel that the color is turned over, as long as you return the conductance, it will look like new. If you come to our company, DiamondAsia.hk, it has been good for a few years. I will help you renovate it. As if it's new, I will ask, how long do I need to turn over? Hey, based on my experience, I've been doing it for so many years and you've worn it for about 5 to 8 years, so it's almost the same. You need to turn over, but based on my experience, if you're a PT, I'm scared for half a year. Within, your ring has been spent until my grandmother doesn't even recognize it, but it's 18K. If you wear it like this for half a year, you can still keep it well. Let's talk about the advantages of 18K. As mentioned before, the PT series is softer. The 18K series is relatively hard. If your diamond series is very expensive, I highly recommend you use 18K. I don't want some customers to buy a hot ring that is so expensive and then accidentally throw a snake. I don't know if you have found that most of the Platinum and PT rings on the market are simple styles, such as having to have a ring and a key ring, or maybe set with 1 or 2 fine diamonds. Even if this is the case, I think it's okay to use the PT series because some boys even think it's so stylish.
But this is not my scope of discussion. But if you choose a lot of gravel for marriage or jewelry, such as money, I don't recommend PT. If you have time, you might as well go out and come out to some big brands or even high-end jewelry stores such as Maker D, Chaname, Frank Cliff, Bulgar, etc. There are some high-end jewelry, they use 18K but they must use PT. These big brands are simply
limited money, unlimited fans. If they all use 18K, some companies continue to amplify the shortcomings of 18K oxidation, or 18K is not good enough for PD, so why bother? Let's talk about some practical problems. Hey, I buy diamonds in DiamondAsia. When you buy 50 diamonds, my price is less than 10,000 yuan. I will buy 10,000 yuan plus only 18K eggplant gold. When making a ring, it costs 2,000 yuan, but if you make a PT ring, you may need 5,000 yuan or even 6,000 yuan, so 2,000 yuan is the same as 6,000 yuan. Is it 4,000 expensive to go to this moment? If I were you, I would rather add this budget of 4,000 mosquitoes to a diamond, and it would go from 50 copies to 60 copies of masonry and stone. If I were a girl, I would be scared of a big diamond. When you propose, you promise to be happy. Why don't you call a girl when you propose? It's not good to focus. The diamond path is called focus. Turn over your PT ring system. It's so grey and harmonious. The conclusion is that the ring metal it mainly depends on personal preference and style. Consider the ingredients and price. I hope it will be helpful to everyone. Hey, do you think I'm going to say something wrong? Hey, what kind of ambiguous answer? I specified that I wouldn't do this. I definitely recommend that you make jewelry, proposal rings, wedding rings, gems and diamonds are easy to use. 18K is not easy to use. PT, I will wear a helmet again to scare everyone to listen to. Hey, my DiamondAsia can do 2 kinds except 18K and PT. I do both, but everyone who knows me knows my department. As a Buddhist seller of jewelry and diamonds, I will tell everyone not to waste some unnecessary money, but when I sell diamonds, I always sell some that are cost-effective rather than pursuing net and expensive ones. In response, before looking through this YouTube, I wholesale some diamonds and jewelry and went to some big foreign brands and good department stores. Most of them used materials. I think everyone in your family already knows that what I tell you is 99.5% or more, all of which require eggplant gold. Some are 18K, some are 14K, but they are 99% or more. Everyone will choose 18K instead of Platinum PT. They are also good. Experienced buyers will choose 18K instead of PT. This microphone is a realistic answer. In fact, there is no need to say more. One is reality. I have time to go to some different jewelry store websites and some big brands of jewelry to do some research. Please take a look at the metals used. You can refer to it if you... I still think PT is the best first. In fact, the problem is that I can do DiamondAsia.hk. PT is a bit more expensive, but the problem is that you can really do whatever you want because you have money. I'm a little shocked because there are many companies that represent some of the boundaries, just like some of the Japanese boundaries and even some of the mainland outside the boundaries. It's PT that is penting and parking. If it makes you unhappy, I'm really embarrassed. Forgive me for being so straight myself. As a Birkin PT, in fact, I buried myself after I finished talking about it. I feel the same way. I hope this YouTube can help everyone. In fact, it's really hard to do YouTube. It's like I just did a YouTube last week. I looked through the report and the profit was only 2.4 cents. However, the entire YouTube clips or some materials are actually, it takes time. I hope everyone can subscribe to my channel, to like or recommend it to some of your friends. Bye bye.